There are some difficulties and challenges that men face in today's world. And especially as a man, it's important to be aware of this. And I'm not saying that men have it harder than women or the opposite. I believe both genders experience their own unique hardships in their own way. And in today's world, for example, as a man, you're conditioned to move away from discomfort. And it might seem contradicting because comfort feels good. Like we live in such a comfortable world right now. But at the same time, I believe it's dangerous because part of embracing masculinity is facing discomfort and moving through it. But right now, we're just removing everything that's uncomfortable because we want to be as comfortable as possible. And you can see this also in the rise of therapy. I believe there's a lot of beauty in this because I believe therapy is important. I believe coaching is important, all the inner work and resolving all these issues and the darkness that we are experiencing. So social media has highlighted beautifully and brought these modalities and all these concepts to the masses. And I love this. But this has gone through extremes where we think all the uncomfortable feelings we need therapy for. That whenever we experience worry, doubt, or fear, or all of these things, we need to dig into our past. And for example, when you want to start a business, but you're scared to take action, immediately you start digging in your past, looking at your relationship with your father and how because of your relationship with your father, you created a story of why you can't start a business right now. And you need to dissolve this story first. And when you're completely free, when you're completely fearless, that's the moment you can take action. And I believe this is so delusional in a negative way because you're taking away the part that makes a man a man. It's the facing discomfort part and moving through it that moves someone from boyhood to manhood. I believe this is an integral part of masculinity, this ability. And we're labeling every single feeling that we're having as wrong. We don't want to experience any uncomfortable feelings. But what I believe as a man, we should change our relationship with these uncomfortable feelings, with discomfort. One thing that I see missing in today's world and society is the initiation part from boyhood to manhood. In the past, we had a clear initiation process, but right now this process is gone. We have no strong male role models that guide us through this process. And part of this initiation process is discomfort. So whenever you experience discomfort, you want to move towards it. You want to move through it. You want to lean into it. You don't want to remove any of these things. You want to show that you're bigger than this. This is the moment where you're tested as a man and where you can show with courage. Because another hard truth for men is that no one is coming to save you. And this was a tough one for me to come to terms with because even recently I was dealing with some internal issues and immediately I was looking at my coach as in, please give me the answers. Please help me. Like, I don't know what to do. What am I missing? Please. And it's of course okay to ask for guidance, but I wasn't coming from a place of, please help me. I was coming from a place of, save me. And I wasn't articulating it like that, but I was coming from that energy. And this is the moment when I realized that I was coming from this energy, and the moment I took radical responsibility for my experience in my life, that was immediately the moment I could resolve it. Because no one is coming to save you. It's your responsibility. And Ed Milet said this beautifully. He said something along the lines of, the moment a boy realizes that no one is coming to save him is the moment he becomes a man. And that is the radical responsibility part. The moment you take radical responsibility for your life, for what you're experiencing, for what you're creating, that is the moment you become a man. I believe this is a necessary part of becoming a man and embracing masculinity. Radical responsibility. And I believe it's important to have a team around you. A strong team of people that support you, people that challenge you, people that cheer you on, people that guide you, mentors, coaches, trainers, but you don't want to be relying on them. You don't want to be dependent on them. They can guide you for sure, but at the end of the day, it's all on you. It's your responsibility. And you may not like the life that you're living right now. And also it's important to keep in mind, it's not your fault. It's not all your fault because you didn't choose the family you grew up in. You didn't choose the school you went to. You didn't choose the country and the culture you grew up in. Like, these things are out of your control. But the moment you start complaining about it and you start rejecting it is the moment you give your power away. That's the moment you become a victim. So you're dealt a hand, and it's your responsibility to deal with it. So this is the hand that you're dealt. What are you going to do about it? And this is a powerful question. What are you going to do about it? And that's you taking responsibility. How are you going to respond to it? How are you going to move forward with this hand? Even if you don't like the hand. And a different part, also when it comes to moving forward, this is an interesting one, how a challenge that men face is that your value as a man is determined by your resources, the money, is determined by your performance and your success. So society determines the value as a man by his success and his performance. And as a man, immediately things that come to mind is, how much money do you have? How much success do you have in your career? What does your physique look like? How much women do you have? How much influence? All of these external metrics determine your value as a man in society. And this is both a scary truth, but also a powerful truth. Because you have the power to create your value. For women, it's different because women are usually born valuable because of their beauty and because of their innocence. But as a man, it's different. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other, but they're just different. And as a man, you have to become valuable. You have to create your value. You have to make the money, create the resources, create the network of people, create the physique. And the hard thing about this is, as a man, there is a time in your life where in almost all of these metrics, you're a complete zero. Like, you have nothing yet and you need to build everything from scratch. But this is also what makes the journey so beautiful and what makes it fun. This whole building and creation process. Because that's part of becoming a man. And I don't want to make this too complicated because I also have a different kind of perspective when it comes to value, because we can have value when it comes to resources and money and our network. But what I believe in is we don't want to make and put our value onto something external, because I believe this is when we give our power away. So when I say, when I have an extra zero in my bank account, I'm more valuable. Like, I don't believe this is true. Because if we imagine, for example, a baby boy that's being born, is that baby valuable? And I think we can all agree that, of course, the baby is valuable. But the baby doesn't have any money yet. The baby doesn't have a network of people yet, or resources or anything. But the baby is still valuable. Because human life is valuable in itself. But the older we get, all of a sudden we have all these different constructs that we start living into. As in, okay, now life is not valuable in itself. Now we need to make money to be of value. And from this place, we can start to create from an anxious place, as in, I need more money to be finally good enough. I need more money to be valuable. But I want to turn it around as in, human life is value in itself. The fact that this life has been given to you is already a sign of the value that's inside of you, and all that you create outside of you adds to that value. And this is a whole different kind of story. I just wanted to touch upon this, but it's a very important concept, because from this place, you start not to create from a place of anxiety, as in, I need to have this money to be more valuable, because you believe that you already are, and everything that you create outside of you will only add to the value that's already there. So this is another hard truth that men face in life, that they have to become the value. A different challenge that I wanted to share with you as well is that masculine behavior is labeled as toxic masculinity. And this one is fascinating. Whenever you're assertive or bold or honest or straightforward, or when people experience you as too dominant, immediately you're toxic. Because it's almost as people experience it as dangerous when you act in this kind of way, as if you're going to be harming people. Similar to how therapy has been spread to the masses. On one side, it's a good thing, but the downside is that everybody or a lot of women are self-diagnosing all of the exes. So we have so many narcissists in this world right now. A different example is also the Me Too movement. At the core, I still believe it's a good movement. But this one has gone to extremes where whenever you say hi to a girl on the street or you give a compliment, you're a creep or you're harassing her. So even that has gone to extremes. So as a man, you're almost, if you want to live in alignment with the ideals of society, you're boxed in. Like, what do you do? Because whenever you want to lean into these masculine qualities, you're immediately being rejected. And the opposite is also true as well. Whenever you lean into different qualities that they say that you want to be embodying or that you have to be embodying, you're being rejected as well. And at the core, I believe, as a man, is, like I said in the beginning, taking radical responsibility for your life, like no one is going to save you, and also carve out your own path. Because it doesn't matter what you do, like you will be rejected by society. Like people will not like it, especially if you start creating, especially when you start expressing yourself more powerfully. Whenever people experience the power of the masculine, some people get afraid. We are conditioned to be afraid of this. But this is where you have to take matters in your own hands and carve out your own path. Regardless of what people say, even regardless of what certain men say that a man should be. Like you get to choose. And you will probably go against so many people, against your family, against your friends. But you have to take matters into your own hand. You have to carve out your own path. And one last thing that I see that a lot of men face, and this is a kind of different one, also related to these constructs that society create, is there's no space for your mental health issues. There's no compassion for your mental health issues, because society is telling you, on one hand, they're judging masculinity, all the masculine behavior. So they're saying you have to be open, you have to be vulnerable. And when you open up, and this is a huge step for someone to open up about all the darkness that they are experiencing. And when you open up, you're being rejected. There's no sympathy for your mental health issues. When you make the decision to open up about something to your family, they will not take it serious. When you do it to your friends, they will laugh about it. They will start making jokes. They maybe turn complete silent because they have no idea how to deal with this. They don't even know how to process all of these emotions themselves. Maybe you have no idea how to express it properly. So that leaves you in a place where you are rejected. And I think people have no idea what this is like. When you open up, when you are in the most vulnerable place you can imagine, when you open up about shame, about suicide, about heartbreak, about family issues, about traumas, and you're being rejected, you have nowhere to go to. You're all alone. And you just have to suck it up. And this is where, I know this might sound contradicting to my first point, but this is where I believe therapy is important. Because there are certain issues and certain things that we have to go through, that we have to work through as men. We have to look at the darkness that's within. Like within Carl Jung, within his philosophy, it's all the shadow work. You have to look at what's in the unconscious, because you don't have to be carrying all these burdens. A lot of men take a lot of pride out of carrying all these burdens, but you don't have to. It's like, why would you? Why would you make life so hard? And you think whenever you repress all of these emotions that they're gone, but they're not gone. They're in your unconscious, but they're still guiding your feelings, guiding your thoughts, guiding your actions, if you like it or not. So I believe a very important part is to look at all that's going on in the unconscious, to find a space where you feel safe. And this is where I believe in today's world, we're lacking male role models. We're lacking men who have gone through these processes themselves, who have gone to these dark places in their own psyche and worked through this. And from there are able to guide other men to work through all of these things. And this is what I believe we need in today's world more of. And this is also one of the main reasons why I created this men's group, this men's community, because we need a space with like-minded individuals to work through all of these problems together. Because sometimes when you see another man working through certain problems, this relatability helps you to work through your own problems as well. And like I said, as a man, you need to carve out your own path. And it's very difficult to go against all the people that are around you. But if you have a community around you that is all redefining and recreating masculinity for themselves, that is all walking and creating their own path, like that energy, you take that with you every single day. And that helps you to create so much more powerfully in this world. So if you, by the way, want to try out this community for free, you can fill out the application form in the description below, and we can just hop on a call and see if things align. And I hope that this video has been helpful in some kind of way. If you have different kind of challenges that are present for you when it comes to being a man in today's world, I would love to hear them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.